It's the Movie Toasty Show, here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah! Movie Toast.
Hey, Adam. Oh, I'm not catching you at this current time.
I'm good. My mic was muted for that
There we
great
go.
theme song action.
All
oh,
right.
boy. Great way to start the show, folks. Welcome to episode 188. Dennis, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, sir. How about you, man?
You win some, you lose some. I can't complain too much.
Nice.
But
hey, we're coming up on a fantastic international holiday here, as I believe a lot of our visual background will indicate for those of you that are only listening to the show.
Yeah, good luck. We have a nice Star Wars action going here, an 8-bit Millennium Falcon cockpilot action. I got a Jabba's Palace Max Rebo background. Dennis got a nice Star Wars behind him. Getting ready for May the 4th and
That's right.
Revenge of the 6th. Or 5th.
Oh,
I always
all
thought
of
it was 6th because of Sith, but I when I was online looking at different backgrounds, a lot of people were writing 5th, and I'm like, that makes no sense because 5th doesn't sound like Sith.
Revenge of the 5th,
Okay.
Attack of the 6th.
Oh, that's how they get you. God damn it.
There's all these, they're stretching it out every year. I feel like it's May the 4th is really the main one, Let's fill in the blank for the rest, I feel, at that point. But
right. Oh boy. But I'm excited, man. We since we've last met, we've gotten our hotels for Comic-Con. I got my flight.
oh my God.
We
Yes.
just signed up for the badges, so we should be good in July. Man, I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Oh, I am so pumped. This is gonna be a lot of fun. WonderCon was definitely a good warm up for me personally. I feel, as everyone indicated, like,
dip your toes in the water.
A stepping stone, like it's not even close. And
Yeah, there's a leap happening there.
I'm very I'm very much excited for the leap, sir. Oh God.
But yeah. So we're only a few weeks, but we're more than a few weeks away. We're a few months away, but
you can count weeks. There's nothing wrong with weeks at this point.
Whatever.
Weeks isn't
We're almost
It's
in May, June, July. So yeah, what about 12 weeks? Yeah.
Yeah.
A little
Welcome
longer than
aboard.
3 months. It sounds a little longer. It doesn't matter. People aren't here to hear us talk about that just yet. But I think we got a little rant to talk about to start off the old episode, huh?
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, as you know, folks, we are kind of getting old, crotchety moviegoers in our 30s for some reason, I guess. But there's always just those things that just rub you the wrong way at the movie theater. You know what? I kind of wish there was a jingle for it. Something a little to rub you the wrong way, and like
if only we had the foresight to come up with that. Yeah,
if only
in advance.
Anyways,
I thought you were going to premiere something right now, but if our astounding editor Al has any songs that just came out of nowhere, if he wants to drop it in here,
inspired, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
but
I don't know where you'd find it, but
not to bog down your creativity, sir. This is unfortunately a repeating theme of when you have those situations when you go to the movie theater. Because look, you go to the theater, you want to watch your movie, right? It's not cheap these days. There's so many aspects of it that just it takes an effort to go and see that movie you want to see, right? So why the fuck would you be impeding upon other people's ability to watch a movie? Like in my personal instance, talking through the entire goddamn movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't matter how many times we asked them to be quiet or hushed them as politely as we could. But it got to that point where I had to expect every time the movie got quiet, they had to spark up a whole new conversation about what the last scene was about. Holy shit. After a point, I just wanted to yell the response to the question back at them because it was just, I know it's so petty, but God,
Oh,
it
yeah.
just reminds me all the time why I love going to the movies. I love the experience of getting everything up in the larger scale, the sound, the imagery. But God damn it, the people.
Yeah. That's why I love like going to a showtime that's super early or super late, hoping nobody's there, but assholes always creep in. 3 movies I saw yesterday. First one, an anime movie, bunch of little kids with their family. I'm like, all right, I kind of get that. Next movie, Alien 45th anniversary re-release. A couple seats down from me, talking nonstop. Then the guy was falling asleep, and his significant other woke him up. And at one point, it looked like they were leaving, and I'm like, oh, fuck yes, I'm winning. They're gone. Good. And then they just settled back in. I'm like, you bastards. And then going into Challengers, IMAX, there's 3 people in a row, like a seat away from me, going back and forth every second talking. And I'm like, what the fuck is your problem, people? Shut the fuck up. Talk after the goddamn movie. I hate it.
Yes. You reminded me of one more thing to add in there. The particular movie I was at the theater for was Abigail. And of course, like just as the lights dim, so they're following that format now where they show all the trailers and then they dim the lights. Which fair enough. That makes more sense.
I'll fuck around on my phone now. I'm like, fuck it. If they get the lights on, I'll fuck around. But I'm like, once I see that fucking Nicole Kidman's coming up, I'm like, I guess I got to put my phone away. I got 20 seconds
Nicole's
left.
Telling us to shut the fuck up. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you there.
They have 2 things telling you to shut the fuck up, and they still don't pay attention.
No, this was great. And just as the lights are coming down, I see this family come in of 5, and it's a mom and dad, and the oldest child is maybe 10 years old. And the other 2 kids are younger.
For Abigail?
For Abigail. And Val and I just look at each other like, oh, this is going to be fun. And of course, the first like 4 or 5 times you get like any significant amount of gore on screen, I hear like 3 screams come from the front of the theater.
That's kind of cool. I'll give that. That adds to the atmosphere a little bit, I would imagine. Unless it's one of those like fake, I'm a kid screaming just for the sake of making noise.
I don't even know. It was because thankfully 2/3 of the way it's like got quieter. Maybe they're so desensitized or they stopped looking at the screen.
Yeah.
That I stopped hearing it. But it was just come on guys.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a little young for this, but whatever. I don't know. Toasties, tell me, am I wrong? Are you taking your like 8-year-old kid in to see like an intensely violent horror movie because you can? Or I don't know. To be honest, not to say I wasn't trying to steal away and see a lot of shit like this not too many years after that point, but it just seemed, I don't know, for my own personal viewing experience, it seemed a little much.
Yeah.
Especially for everyone else in the room. Like
the problem is, it's like, I remember being a kid and being an asshole and just goofing around with your friends and whatnot before the movie and as the movie's going on. Sure. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, I regret it. But once you hit like maybe 16 to 18 now, once you hit 20, it's like that cutoff right there. You got to end that shit. Be an adult. Come on. And that's pushing it. But I don't know. But I mean, imagine your viewing of Boy Killed World. That was probably a much quieter, more intimate setting, at least.
That was much quieter, and I'm you're gonna have to, if you want my review, you're gonna have to go check that out over on our YouTube channel. But I had a great time doing the press screening for that movie. Man, that was so much fun. And especially sitting in a room where everyone is just media outlet people. I will say though, it wasn't perfect. There was one person, the row behind me at the far end, phone out for half the fucking movie, and I could.
How did nobody say anything to this asshole? I get maybe you're pressing, you're trying to take notes, but there's a better way to do it.
I just like started leaning a little bit on my elbows to try to like, because she sat in the row behind, but it was so bright because it's a tiny, like the room was only for like 35, 40 people at most. Tiny little screening room. And I was just like, I could not believe, holy shit, we are all like
That's
professionally
bullshit.
watching a movie right now, and you can't even goddamn put your phone away. But
That's rough.
yeah, but even that situation, a room designed for people who are meant to be there for the coverage of the release of a film, you couldn't even get someone to put their fucking phone away. So
Right?
this
If
is
you're
what
going to
it's
be
come
that
to.
person, don't go to the screening. Wait for the screener. I got a screener, but I still went to the movies to see it. So
There
it's
you
like,
go.
come on,
See?
be polite. Don't waste people's time
Yeah.
and piss them off. But I don't know. People are probably sick of hearing his rant for a good 10 minutes. But it was nice to kind of get it out there a little bit. And
Yeah.
I don't know. And people are probably like, well, why don't you go to the usher? Why don't you ignore it? And it's like, you can do all that shit. I've done all of it. And it still gets zero yield returns. And it's just ridiculous. So,
Right?
yeah.
No,
There's no winning.
I'm with you, man.
The only way to win, I guess, would be going to a drive-in or having your own personal theater, I guess. And that's not all
Feasible
something
for
people
everyone.
can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe we get into something that everyone can do if they follow us on X. A little poll talk.
I like that, sir. I like that Chewbacca back there.
Right, he's kind of dancing along a little bit
for the
there.
rhythm. That was that was awesome.
Oh man, sometimes you luck out when you get these gifts in the background. Up first, I have a poll from episode 187. I reviewed the latest film by the filmmaker David Leitch. That film being, of course, The Fall Guy, coming to theaters this upcoming Friday. So I wanted to know what the Toastie's favorite movie of his was out of the following four. I'm just pulling up a graphics here. Oh boy, that looked like shit for a second. So the movies I wanted to know were, of course, the only four he's made besides Fall Guy, which includes Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw, and Bullet Train. And for me, there's one outlier, I think, but I don't know. I'm wondering what's going on in the camp of Dennis.
That's a good call. I really enjoy. Okay, for me, I'm split between Deadpool 2 and Bullet Train.
Okay, that's good. For me, it's Bullet Train. I hated Deadpool 2.
Oh.
I love Deadpool 1. Deadpool 2
Really?
was just fucking fodder, I feel. It's like, I don't know. I didn't care about the boy. I love that actor. I didn't care about fucking Juggernaut. Cable I liked, but it's like, if that's the movie we're going for, I don't know, give him his own fucking movie. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. But that's just me. I mean, there was moments I enjoyed, but
maybe see, I don't know. I guess I never took Deadpool 2 that seriously, and I just liked it for kind of the crazy bullshit it was doing for what it was. But Bullet Train, I loved the stylized presentation it gave us, and the world it presented, it just laid out for the audience was fantastic. I do have a soft spot for that Marvel shit though, so it's I don't know. I'm somewhere between those two, but I respect the Bullet Train.
Fair enough.
Choice.
Right? And God, Atomic Blonde, I was so excited for it. It had badass moments, but I felt like it was one of those very slow-paced movies with really cool action scene. And it just Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Popcorn movie. But yeah. So here's what the Toasties said over on X. 0% goes to Atomic Blonde. So everyone's in my camp, I guess.
Yeah. No, I'm with
Although
you
I've heard people really want a sequel, and I'm like, I'd be down for a sequel. If it was a more action-packed, fun time, not just a little slow-paced movie.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I feel like they teased.
I love Charlize.
They tried to get that moving, but
I thought this was going to be like our foray into a female-style John Wick movie, but I guess it was, but not as much as I expected.
Yeah, very true.
0% again for Hobbs and Shaw, or that is the Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. I kind of expected a little love for that one, but fuck it.
I
If
would've
they
thought
don't
so
love
too.
Charlize, right?
Just core
Yeah.
series only, I guess. They're all about
Yeah,
the
yeah. You gotta
the
if you don't have Dom
main
Preto in a movie, you're gonna get yourself a Hobbs and Shaw or a Tokyo Drift using. You're gonna get yourself a Too Fast, Too Furious. You're gonna meet a lot of new characters we know and love in the future, but you don't have Toretto, so you don't have family. Although you
don't
did
have
have
Coronas.
family of both these guys. Oh man.
Oh shit.
So
Well,
that
so which
leaves
did they finally give some points on?
right. We finally got a little bit of points action here. So that would be 33%.
Oh,
Wow. Oh boy. This is all
there
messy
we
here,
go.
folks. I'm sorry. 33.3% for Bullet Train. So a little bit of love.
okay.
And-
fair enough.
Yeah. I can live with that. At least it didn't
Yeah.
get shat on like the other two
It has-
movies, which
I feel like it hasn't quite had the time to really soak
Yeah.
in and be that sort of cult
right.
action movie quite yet. But I could see
Yeah.
it getting there.
Right. And then that leaves, of course, a staggering 66.7% for Deadpool 2.
Yes.
man.
Yeah. Kind of not surprising. though.
Speaking of Deadpool, did you see the newest trailer that just came out last week, where we actually get more Wolverine, Hugh Jackman action?
I want to say yes. Is that the one where it was like he's unloading he stabs Deadpool with the claws and Deadpool just his pistols into his sides? God, that just got me all fucking fired up.
Right.
That was great.
I'm excited. I can't wait. It's funny. And in fact, friend of the show, Mr. Rick Tomeo, texted me a couple of days ago asking if we were going to go see it when it comes out, because it's coming out when we're in San Diego. And I said, I don't know. I'd be down. Rick's like, I'd drive down and see it with you guys. And I'm like, that seems very weird, but please, I'd love to have you join us.
Sounds like a date, Rick.
I'm down.
We'll make it happen.
I just feel bad making him drive so far, but hey, if he's willing to do it, why not? Oh man.
Hell yeah. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
I guess let's more talk offline. And if any other Toasties are going to be down in the San Diego area and you want to join us, let us know. We'd love to meet you guys.
Absolutely. Hit us up on our socials.
People that we don't know.
Any of the main handles, but please. That would be really awesome.
Yeah.
Let us know where you're being.
Right.
We're going to be there the whole run of the show. So hit us up. Hit us up.
So up next, we have a poll here for on the last episode. I did not review. You reviewed the newest and greatest video game adaptation turned into a series, Fallout, on Amazon Prime. And I finally caught up and watched it, and I'm happy. So I want to know what Toastie's favorite, or what they thought the best TV series based on a video game franchise was out of Pokemon, The Witcher, The Last of Us, and Twisted Metal.
Oof. Oh, I liked your deep cut you had to fucking throw in there just to make it difficult.
I mean, I had a try. And I mean, I thought about adding the Super Mario Brothers cartoon show or the Sonic cartoon show from back in the day, but I'm like, nah. There's one cartoon that I want to put on here. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll be the wild card, and I'm going to say Twisted Metal. Dude,
it's funny.
I expected the least, and I loved it. Almost as much as The Last of Us. I think I enjoyed The Witcher, but I think I enjoyed it more than The Witcher. Holy shit!
I'm 100% with you.
Such a good time. Yeah.
I did not watch The Witcher. The Last of Us, I really enjoyed, and it's kind of a rough tie because I loved Pokemon. Yeah, but Twisted Metal, like you said, it was just something that you weren't expecting. And I just binged the fuck out of it. Like when I got those screeners, I'm like, I'm watching, and I was so engrossed. It was such a great story. The chemistry with, everyone was on all cylinders. And I don't know. Speaking of,
it reminds me of. Sorry.
Right. No, you're good. You're good.
Of all the options, it reminds me the most of Fallout between those. Not just in setting, but in that sort of unexpected, how are you going to use this storyline as reference? And instead of trying to craft something very similar to what you recognize from the storyline from the games as you played them, it just ripped all the pages out and threw them out in the world as they interpreted it. Nothing against the other choices, of course, because I'm a fan of all three of the other shows. But I think I enjoyed that one the most. I went back and watched Twisted Metal since, as opposed to all of these other
I'll probably
shows.
rewatch it soon. 100%. I'm with you on that. Hell yeah. So let's see what the Toasties had to say. 0% for The Witcher.
Oh,
I'm kind of shocked. I know people really enjoyed that show. I thought that would be somewhere in the middle at least.
I liked it.
I wonder if there's a little hatred now that we're getting the Hemsworth opposed to the
way they decided to present the second season, and then as they dropped the second season, announce our star is leaving the show. That was weird. But
wait till
one was fantastic. So
fair enough.
I don't know.
So that up next, 0% for our favorite of the choices.
No! Oh, Toasties.
Yeah.
Please give it a try. You know what? It's because it's because of Peacock.
It's Peacock.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie.
I get it. Peacock sucks.
I wanted to watch the show. I didn't have Peacock, but I got some screeners for it, and I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, I'm in, all on board for this shit. But did I want to sign up for Peacock? No. I didn't have to, but would I sign up if they didn't give me screeners for the next season? I'd probably sign up for a couple of episodes. I'd probably just binge it and then cancel Peacock like an asshole. Right. But I mean, definitely worth checking out. It's fantastic series.
Yeah. Oh my god.
If you like Deadpool, if you like Zombieland, it's the guys that wrote those movies writing a series, and Anthony Mackie has this great charisma. Killing it.
He's
Samoa
doing
Joe.
Exactly what you expect him to do. You know, it's what we want to see.
Stephanie Beatrice as his love interest. Spoiler. She's fantastic. Samoa Joe with the voice of Will Arnett as fucking what the hell's the guy's name? Sweet Tooth. Oh man, everyone's killing it. And you get guest stars popping up, and there's action, there's blood, there's guts, it's gore. So much is going on in this show,
and humor, you gotta check it out throughout. It's dark and it's heavy, but it stays fun the entire time. It's
and you don't know where it's going.
Adding to the queue,
100%.
Oh, I'm a little bummed. Okay,
I'm a little bummed as well. Now we're coming down to the final two. This next one is getting 33.3%. The Last of Us.
No fucking way. Oh, all right. Okay.
Also a fantastic series, but you got to have Max to check it out. So that leaves Pokemon winning the polls with 66.7%. And, you know, I understand because it's been around for 20-something, 30-something years. Every generation has their own Pokemon. Like, so it makes sense to me. I don't know. I'm not going to disagree. I get it. And, you know, I don't disagree. Like I said, it's just
on occasion have I gone back and if I saw like a YouTube channel streaming or Twitch streaming a season of Pokemon, might have stopped on there for a minute and watched an episode or two.
Right.
It's still
I did watch the whole Ash finally becoming a master. I watched that episode online. I didn't watch the final episode with Ash, and I'm like, you know, I can live just thinking he's out there happy. So fuck me. You know what I still want to check out? I haven't checked out yet. Pokemon Concierge, that little claymation show on Netflix. I've heard good things.
Oh shit! No, I haven't. Have not added it to the queue yet, but I think I might have to do.
And of course, Detective Pikachu. Love that film.
Oh fantastic. Yeah, great movie. Great movie.
Good way to work Pokemon into the world. Yeah. Oh boy. So I think that brings us to the part of the show that most people probably showed up for, Dennis.
That's
Reviews.
Right. Let's get to our first one.
I believe you're going to be kicking us off here with the classic film that I hate to admit I have never actually seen. And
no worries, man, because I only just got to my first viewing recently. Felt so inspired because Val and I were going to Crush Groove 24 this year, hosted by KJ over at Forum in Inglewood. I'm talking about Boys in the Hood. This is the John Singleton classic released in 1991, featuring Cuba Gooding Jr. and Ice Cube, as well as many other stars, including Lawrence Fishburne, Morris Chestnut, Angela Bassett, Nia Long, Regina King, and several others who are classics of
it's a killer's row right there.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Oh my god. This it as soon as the film starts, I very much get this nostalgic feeling of I can remember. I mean, not that I remember 91 being born in 89, but there was something about the music and the time and just the cars that were driving in the road, the brands of the products that were available and things that very much it felt so engrossing to be put in this time, even though they weren't doing it on purpose back then. They're trying to make something contemporary and modern. But I think what honestly helps hold this movie up is the fact that it lives so well in the time it was made in. We're seeing the story of Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, Trace Styles, who he's got in too much trouble at his school, and he has to go live with his dad, played by Lawrence Fishburne. And he's come up with his little crew of friends that a few of them are a little rough around the edges, including his best friend Doughboy, who we fast forward, right? We fast forward ahead of time, and he's just getting out of prison, and we are welcoming him back into the community. And it's kind of like we just pick things up where we left off. We're about to graduate high school, I want to say. It's senior year of high school for the rest of them, and we're kind of still just carving out our piece, what we're doing next. It's very much a coming of age story, but from a very specific point of view, and it is so beautifully told. The story is so well done. It's shot very well. The music, of course, is fantastic, but it's the performances that just, these are slices of life that 100% exist every day in LA that finally get this highlight, and it's just executed so goddamn well. I was glued to the screen from beginning to end, and I was kind of bummed it took me this long to watch it. It's so fucking good. And while watching it, I could totally see this film was definitely the predecessor for so many other urban-inspired Black films that wanted to tell similar stories, although of course having a different bent or perspective. This is very much the blueprint for so many other stories to come, and it was just so well done that it deserves the respect it gets. That's for sure.
And the crazy thing, all that you're just saying right there, is coming from John Singleton on his first writing and directing job as a feature film. Like, it's crazy. That's insane. And of course, he went on to make even bigger and better movies. But the fact that he could do such an amazing job on his first time out is saying something, I think.
Absolutely, man. Now, watching this very much felt like you were watching the hand of a very practiced artist at work. And it just kind of like, it just doesn't have any right to be as good as it is in what it's the best as I can describe. It's crazy. I can't imagine where just having all of the elements come together in just the right manner so that you could tell the story. Done so fucking well. It is available on Netflix right now. Please go check out Boyz n the Hood if you haven't yet. Just like we hadn't until recently. I'm gonna give Boyz n the Hood 4 slices. It was a very moving story. I got emotional when it hit certain points. It was well performed. Everything about it just fired in all cylinders. Excellent film.
Nice. That's saying something. A 4 slicer. I got something that is moving and emotional at some moments, and a little raunchy at others. I'm talking about the new movie Sasquatch Sunset. Do you know anything about this one, Dennis?
No, but I fucking love this title already and the artwork.
Right? So this is produced by Ari Aster, the guy who did Beau Afraid, Midsommar, and those movies. So you're in for something different. He didn't direct it, but boy, oh boy, this movie is essentially like a nature doc. You're spending a year in the life of a family of Sasquatch. or Sasquatch. I don't know exactly what you would call multiple Sasquatches.
Same squinch.
Bigfoots. Yeah. So you have like an elder one. You have like a little younger one who's not much younger, but, you know, grown man at least, you would assume. Then a woman version about the same age as the man you'd imagine, and then a child. And maybe later on there could be a baby. I don't know. So you're picking up, you're seeing them kind of going around, rummaging for food, kind of pulling bugs off of one another, just regular things, building shelter, fishing,
can I ask
fucking.
one question real quick?
Yeah.
They're not speaking English, are they?
No. There's no
okay.
talking whatsoever.
Thank God.
Grunts,
Okay, thank God.
moans.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
And
I'm
this
with you.
movie,
I'm with
like,
you.
holds no bars. Like, nothing is off the table. Like I said, there is, you're watching penetration.
Yeah.
You're seeing Sasquatch cock. You're seeing full-on birth out of a vaginal canal of a Sasquatch. You're seeing the death of some Sasquatch. You're seeing just the joys of life. This movie has beautiful scenery because you're out in nature. The fucking prosthetics are pretty good looking in this. And it's interesting because you have one of the stars of this movie is Jesse Eisenberg. And it's like, what? Why is he playing a Sasquatch? I don't know. But you forget that you have actors because you're watching this movie where there's no talking and just emoting, and you understand everything they're going through and what they're saying. It's crazy. Yeah. It's interesting.
Awesome.
And it's a full year of just seeing the struggles and joys of being Sasquatch. And for a while, you don't even know.
The title.
You don't even know.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. It's cool. Like, it's just mind bending because it could go either way. Like, and it went in a decent direction. Like, there's moments where you're going to cry. There's moments where you're laughing. There's moments where you're feeling kind of uncomfortable. And all this wrapped up in one movie. I don't know what the runtime is. I completely forget because it was about 2 weeks ago. But boy, is this a unique, interesting movie. And I don't know. It's hard to say if I think you should see it in the theater because, yeah, it looks stunning.
Yeah. Okay.
But is the story fully something that you want to rush out to see in a theater? Might not be for everybody, but it's one of a kind. This movie comes in at an hour and 28 minutes, but you're getting so much in that hour and 28 minutes, like a whole year's worth of stuff.
Dang, okay.
It's a decent movie. I'm going to say Sasquatch Sunset currently in theaters. I'm going to give it 2 slices of toast, right in the middle, I'd say.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I don't know.
You had me intrigued
it's not
with that Squatch hole.
Yeah. Oh boy. If you're a Sasquatch enthusiast, it's definitely worth checking out. That's what I'll say. But you got something that the people can watch at home, I believe, right? A little bit different.
That I do. We're talking about another Netflix entry. I'm a fan of the crime doc sort of series and films here. And there was one that dropped in the last few weeks called What Jennifer Did. So this is a Canadian crime case where this family home was invaded one evening by multiple assailants. It seemed like they were being held hostage, and this girl's parents were murdered. She was left like tied up and beaten. She had worked her way like down the stairs or something and got a hold of the police to get them to respond to the home. And that, like, right out the gate, things just seemed off from the phone call that she made to the positioning of their bodies and the way things were arranged in the house, the way the house was rummaged through even. And then we got a hold of communications from her cell phone and her email account and shit. And it took a very dark turn really fast. This girl had a very dark mental health history and had expressed a lot of very morbid thoughts previously. Not very many people were aware of these things, but she was dating this guy he was a drug dealer, and he was in touch with some really bad folks that, They had figured out, well, her parents were worth so much money. Maybe we could just kill them and we'll just take her parents' money. And, you know, she just got in with bad people. And that was really unfortunate. Except they found even more evidence of her personal involvement that made it a much, much darker story of her own issue, that like there may or may not be a chance that she played a part in planning the whole event from the beginning. This goes by pretty fast. It's only an hour and a half, but I gotta say, from where the story begins to where the story ends, I mean, fuck, even based on the like what I've said about the plot so far, it doesn't, you can't really cut that much out I mean, maybe I'm just a bad synopsizer, but the story is pretty straightforward. From the first 30 minutes of watching this thing, you fucking made your decision of what you think has happened. And the movie spends the next hour of trying to get you, well, maybe it wasn't that. And it kind of gets annoying. And it gets kind of dull in the middle for like a lot of it. And then guess what? You were right. What your guess was after the first 30 minutes. This was kind of rough. I normally like these sort of stories, but the way the story was presented was so clunky and just very like lethargic at many places. And then you just had all of these like very fluffed up sort of presentational decisions, like the creative decisions they made to show you the few pieces of interesting evidence were very over the top. And I was just kind of put off by the whole thing. The story was interesting. Like the actual core facts were interesting. But apparently it's been done multiple times, and I had no idea going into this. So I guess I watched kind of not the best version of this murder case being explained. But What Jennifer Did over on Netflix, I'm gonna give it 1.5 slices. It was I started dozing off, and then I woke myself back up just to make sure, like, oh wait, was I right? Yes, I was right. Oh shit. Okay. And Val and I both kind of looked at each other, just like, okay, this was your average episode of Dateline. Honestly, does better than this movie does. If you're just like a fanatic for this sort of input, though, I mean, don't let that stop you, because you'll probably still find some interesting aspects of the story. But at the end of the day, it is a horrific murder case it's true and it happened, and it can be summed up in about 20-25 minutes, not the hour and a half that they drug it out to on this particular Netflix documentary. So
fair enough.
I wish it was more interesting. I was kind of excited about it when I saw it came up. The trailer intrigued me more, but to be honest, the trailer kind of tells you everything.
Gave away shit.
Failure of trailer golden rules, right?
That's why you can't watch trailers, man. Trailers are poison. But I think we got a little something that we can tag team coming up next here. And I did a movie crumb on it, so I'll let you set us up, and I'll just jump in every now and again to talk with you.
Oh, yes, sir. So this was the the little tease earlier that I saw in the movie theater just this last weekend. But we're talking about the new action horror theatrical release of Abigail. That's right. This is a creepy little ballerina vampire that may or may not be in a sticky situation that was engineered by all the people around her. A group of kidnappers tasked with this job. They're all supposed to be the best of the best of the best, sir. And we were going about the business. We were following through with the mission. And then we start picking up on some details that are just like, not this dog barking outside. Sorry about that, folks. But we start picking up on some hints that things are not what they seem. And this little girl is definitely not a little girl. We got something else happening. Like, she's a vampire.
Yeah. And they take a little bit to get you to that point. And I think they do that so you can kind of get to know your lead characters a little bit more before they jump in. And then they start being picked off one by one, decapitated, fucking brutally slaughtered. And you don't know if it's her for a bit or if it's someone else in the group, and if anybody's working with her. But boy, oh boy, is this movie gory.
Oh my God, yes. I gotta say, the number of just audible groans and just like laughs and like the single hand clap of just the oh shit. Like I heard that so many times watching this movie. It was fun to watch it in a group like that because it was so visceral and it's just, I mean, literally the lens is getting splashed with blood.
Oh,
And
yeah. I love that
for
shit.
one, was seeing shit I've never seen before in a vampire movie that I thought was so entertaining, both just surprising and hilarious at the same time. I wasn't expecting nearly this much comedy, to be
right.
honest. Yeah.
I love the fact that they are like, all right, what kills vampires? And they went down all the different tropes and try most of them and don't get the results they're expecting exactly, which is kind of nice.
Yes.
And yeah, like you said, it's chock full of comedy, action, and horror. That's kind of your typical style movie from Radio Silence, the directors. And boy, oh boy, is it a fun time. Sorry, I cut you off.
You did touch on something that I strongly felt, and it was like the beginning of the second act. It just comes down to a lull. It gets. I understand we're supposed to like get to know our characters and stuff, and unfortunately, we the cast suffered a loss before the release of the film, with Angus Cloud having passed away before the film's release. I kind of get that. I feel like we included probably a little bit more in this part of the story, but I felt like so much of that was so unnecessary that it just...
It's funny that you say that because I listened to a podcast with the directors. They actually cut some stuff out of his.
Oh, thank God.
Surprisingly. Yeah.
I did. It took... I'm sorry, but it just took so long to get through this, especially when you know where it's going to go. I mean, look at the poster. Look at the poster. Yeah. You see, going to get to some vampire shit. Over 30
and
minutes.
If you're wondering,
get some real vampire shit, man.
Why they're not escaping? Because once they realize what's happening, they try escaping, but the house goes in a total lockdown, and there's no exit that they can find. So I don't know.
Now, for a cast of maybe not like a bunch of like big A-list people, they locked this shit down. Everyone did a great job. Especially Alicia Weir, who plays Abigail.
Fantastic young actress.
She did so fucking good. I mean, this is someone we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more of on the big screen. That little bit of Giancarlo that we get, of course, he's amazing.
Oh yeah,
everything that guy's in. But
Dan Stevens was great.
Oh, yes. Oh my God,
she was having fun.
Oh, for sure. Kevin Durant, I always like seeing that guy pop up and stuff. Immediately go back to Smoking Aces, and I just like seeing that crazy son of a bitch just being like the big intimidating presence, but then he gets bossed around by like
right. Only thing that kind of got me a little bit was like his relationship with Catherine Newton felt a little weird. Like, I don't know. It was sit fully.
No, for me, it's because they're, of course they're both like people that exist in this world of crime and danger and stuff. They were the worst things that could ever be around each other. I feel like that's so often that these are the people that get attracted to each other, that it's like there would be no breaks in this relationship. It would be all gas, fucking full throttle, if they ever actually had this time to like hook up or anything. But no, the whole cast was fantastic. William Catlett, I loved that sort of just the badass like military sort of presence he had. He carried that very well.
Great.
Melissa Barrera, she did a great job of being our main character, more or less. Following her story and seeing the world through her perspective. The little hints that they dropped, like with the candy and stuff. I liked the way we made these references with her personal history and her relationship with the other characters, and using that as like a visual device. I had a fun time watching it. I know the story wasn't deep, but it was like, you know what?
You don't need it for that.
I was glad I saw that. And
I feel like this is like a B movie premise with more going on than it should have. Like if they put in someone else's hands, it could have been really schlocky, but they pulled off the airy, all different vibes and feels. And and the set design, the house they were in was beautiful, creepy, airy. Oh man.
But the use of music versus the score was fantastic. Because although you get the classic like silence before the jump scares, but even then the jump scares kind of started to get sort of fun. You like you knew it was coming, and then you would wait for that next piece of like vinyl record music to start playing to transition us into the next thing. And that it was, and then, again, Adam and I were at the panel at WonderCon with this director talking about how initially this film didn't focus so much on the dancing, and it was because she was so fucking good when they started filming. They decided to incorporate so much more of it, and it looks so great, and it looks awesome to see this like vampire doing all of this stuff and kind of building that into, instead of the classic like sort of the vampire wings and the dropping from the hanging from the ceiling and shit like that. We got a completely different sort of feel to it.
One moment that was kind of fun, like she's chasing after people, but doing like fucking dancing on like a banister, and it's like, damn, that's talent. I know you're attached to wires, but still to pull that off and not fall, that's impressive. And just even the way she delivered lines, this girl is gonna be big if it keeps going.
If I didn't know she was like Irish going into it, never would have guessed she had that killer, like her accent just completely doesn't exist in this, like along with several other people in this movie, to be honest. There's other British actors that they bury that shit so well, but no, this was like the cast did a great job of performing. Like Adam was saying, I have to agree, it is very much like a B movie, but with so many better resources. You know, like they really pulled it off. I feel like this isn't some big like Oscar winning thing by any means, but it is definitely a good time, especially for just, there may not be a ton of horror options at the moment. This is definitely a good one to go see.
Some good ones out there. And it's under 2 hours. A lot of movies run well over 2 hours, and it's nice going in and out and feeling like you've seen a complete thing that didn't take all day to watch.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what would you rate this one?
Oh, I'm going to give it 3 slices. Easily. I had fun watching it. It, you know, maybe I could have thought a little bit harder while watching it, but that's not the important thing when coming into a movie like this. I was entertained visually from beginning to end, and it was a fun time. It was a fun time.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to give it 2.5 slices, fairly close to yours. And I'd be intrigued. Like, they could go so many places with this. They could do prequels. They could do spin-off. There's a lot. And I don't know. I kind of hope they contain it to just this, or if they do, maybe a backstory, a little prequel. I don't know.
Which I could totally see. I do like the way it was left off. Was open. It was so open-ended in a way that it didn't shoehorn a certain direction that they had to go next. It just kind of was like, well, maybe. I'm okay with that. Maybe. I'm okay with that.
Right.
Maybe.
So up next, we got another tag team action here. Dennis did a movie crumb for this, so I'll kind of lead this one off to set us up. I'm talking about the new film Boy Kills World. So this one we were looking forward to. We also saw a panel at WonderCon and both got very intrigued by it, I think. Dennis got to go to a press screening. I got a screener for it, but I also saw it on the big screen. So you got a young man who has been training his whole life to be a badass killing instrument, to seek revenge on those who killed his family and just cause chaos in the city that he lives in. And he happens to be deaf.
I am a sharpened weapon. I just can hear it.
Right? He's deaf and mute, so he can't talk, and he has his internal monologue is given to us by the last video game that he played, a video game him and his sister loved, which is narrated by H. John Benjamin. If you don't know who that name is, you definitely know his voice. He's Archer, Bob and Bob's Burger, Coach McGurk on Home Movies, and he is hilarious giving these lines of dialogue because this boy may have been training his whole life, but his kind of master tells him he's not ready to go through on a mission, and he is gung-ho to do it, and he's going balls out to go do this. And boy, oh boy, is this movie visually stunning. There's a lot of action, a lot of gore, a lot of intense, brutal fights that are unique and one of a kind and just so fucking fun and visually different from other things you've seen. I don't know. What do you think about this one?
I 100% agree with that. I love the uber stylized tone of the world, although it is sort of like this dystopian alternate future. There's fragments of things that feel familiar that keep it sort of somewhat grounded, but then just the rivers of blood and the rolling heads and the crazy over the top shit like that, the people laughing at decapitations on TV and just crazy shit like this. Almost the sort of video game overlay that we get sometimes when we're watching Boyz' interpretation of the world around him, talking to his hallucination of a younger sister. It was so cool, and I really liked bending this sort of the uber violent action film into something else that is both comedic and then again uber stylized. It's a little bit of oh my god, why can't I think? Oh no, I just lost the name of the movie.
Oh boy,
I mentioned it in my movie crumb, and now I'm just totally failing.
I don't know.
Entirely. It's like John Wick meets Scott Pilgrim in a sense of it's so much more fun, but you also get this very serious sense of action. But they're separate things. The comedy can remain on screen at the same time, but just the execution of the fights, the gunplay, all of that shit is really fucking cool looking on screen.
And the bad guys are a family who kind of once a year hold this kind of slaughtering massacre.
The Vanderkoys.
The Vanderkoys, yes. And there's some familiar faces in the family, but one of my favorites is Brett Gelman. Always funny. But this time he has a little bit more going on. He's a little more sinister. And he might not kind of like what his family is doing. He just is an artist who wants to express himself. And another breakout star, I think, is the Old Spice guy. Isaiah Mustafa, I think his name is.
Yeah,
this man is a badass, and he's just delivering mumbo jumbo because Boy can't understand what he's saying because he can't read his lips because of his beard, and he's just saying the weirdest, oddest things, and then you're seeing it come to life when Boy's picturing it. Oh boy, it's badass.
And Scruffy Falcon foot can. What?
And I will say,
it was so
there's heart and soul in this movie, which I like.
It really is.
And I will say there is some major twists that happen in the end. I did call one of them, but I didn't see the full scale of what the twist was going to be. That was kind of smart, I think, and I loved it. And fuck, dude, what a fun time at the movies. And
it really was. Much like I feel like it's very similar to my experience at Abigail. It was something where, the story isn't meant to be taken very seriously, and I don't mean that to be offensive to the film itself. It's about what you're immediately seeing on screen, and it is so like fun, and there's just so much to take in. Just with the color and the music and the movement on top of the fact that it's the violence and the storyline going on at the same time. You have the hilarious VO from John Benjamin I will notice there was a lot of him in the first like 40 minutes and then it tapers off
kind of
dramatically. And then you get he comes back towards the end of the film. But everyone does a really good job in this movie.
100%.
I really enjoyed was it Yayan Ruan? Yayan Ruan, the mentor?
Loved him.
Or the shaman, as they called him in the movie. That guy kicked, like those fight scenes just were so fucking cool. I see why they casted everyone the way they did. Bill Skarsgård kicked ass. I mean, we even get the creepy eye twitch. The Pennywise eye twitch at one shot in the movie.
It made me kind of excited for his version of the Crow. I never saw the original Crow, and I've heard nothing but terrible things from the trailer, but I've seen pictures of it and it's kind of laughable looking. But after seeing his physical transformation into Boy and just how badass he can be, I feel like he's going to be great in this role. I think in his new rendition of the Crow.
Oh yeah, no, I could definitely see that, especially in that very again, another dystopian world, but much more gothic and everything.
And it's funny, when we first saw the sizzle reel trailer at WonderCon, it sounded like there was a different voice doing the voiceover, and then it's like it became John Benjamin. I don't know if you heard, but apparently when this premiered, I think at South by Southwest earlier in the year, it initially had a voiceover by Bill Skarsgård, but they felt like it wasn't it was a little too more serious and
Interesting.
not as fun. So
Yeah.
they added H. John Benjamin to kind of spice it
That's-
up, and I think that was the
that's
right
funny.
move to do. Yeah.
Also
I don't
to
know
go
if you
along with
state. Oh, sorry.
Oh no.
No, go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to cut you off, but what I noticed going into that scene, the scene at the TV studio, how different that was cut versus what we saw at WonderCon, because I had no idea certain characters were pushed so far into the background. I thought she
Right.
was up center the whole time. I didn't realize it was like this was the arrangement, and then it plays out wildly different than it seems to. That was a great way of teasing an audience. See, like that was much like when we went to the Guardians of the Galaxy teaser screening years ago. They chose the perfect scene and they cut around it just right to like that was the interest I needed. That was enough to get me to come back and want to see the whole fucking thing, and I'm glad I did. I had a great time.
Right. Interesting. I found out recently the writer of this is the writer of the Kung Fury feature film that is kind of in production hell or post-production hell. So this just makes me even more excited to see Kung Fury too. But did you stick around for the very end? There's kind of a post-credit scene very, very late into the credits.
Fuck, I don't know, because I feel like the room started clearing out. There was no and funny enough, I feel like they probably would have mentioned something like you shouldn't, maybe you should stick around. But
all I'll say is it harkens back to stuff that we see with Boy and his sister as young kids. A very fond moment between the two of them. It's just a cute little tie at the end. But yeah, man, I'd love to see more of this world. I would love to see a continuation. It was just fantastic. How many slices would you give this bad boy?
I'm giving it 3. It was again, I might have had a few problems with the story, but they resolved most of them by the time the movie's over. Maybe the twists aren't like wildly out of left field, but there were a couple of surprises I wasn't expecting, but god damn it, did I have a fun ride from beginning to end. They showed me a lot of cool shit. The stunts were fantastic. Just the art style they chose, the world that they built, very interesting, and I had a really good time watching that movie.
Yeah, I agree. And I did forget to mention the one character who was really great in this was also Jessica Roth. She's a badass in this, and for a while doesn't really speak and just has
June
things pop up on her visor.
Yeah.
Yes. What a fun name. Oh boy. But
definitely
yeah, I'm
gonna
gunfight
with a couple of tomahawks.
But boy, are you gonna fight a bit. I'm with you. I'm gonna give it 3 slices as well, I think.
Nice.
Definitely a fun time. Worth seeing on the big screen for the spectacle.
Yes.
Even if there's not a huge crowd, it's just so fun to see and hear and just not to say don't see it when it's on VOD if you can't get to the theater. Definitely see it when it comes out. If you're not able to see it on the big screen. Yeah.
It's regardless of how you prefer to your method of intake, it's still worth checking out. But if you have the option, it is, and this would be fun in a group of friends because it is so kind of wild over the top. You get some silly imagery as well as some really brutal shit things I've never seen in fights in a movie. That cheese grater, man. Oh my God.
That's surd in my brain. Yeah.
There was an audible just moan in the whole room when that. Oh God.
And I've never had a Macron before, but boy, do I want one after watching the joy of him experiencing one.
Oh, just fucking mashing him.
Oh man.
Oh wait, I should
what
be doing
a good fucking time. As one of our old co-host used to say, this is definitely a green light. See it in the theater. That's what I'll say.
Definitely is. This definitely is. Green light for sure. All around.
So I'm going to close this out here with another new release. Little movie called Challengers. So this is the latest movie starring Zendaya. I don't know what the proper pronunciation of it.
However you want to say it.
Yeah. You know who it is. So
I'm here for
this movie, boy, oh boy, I went in with 0 expectations because I don't care about tennis and I didn't really know what the story was 100%. But it's essentially about two best friends since they were 12 years old. These two boys were inseparable. They went to boarding school together. They played tennis. They were tennis partners and doubles, and they were just moving up the ranks in the tennis world. And then they met a rising star in the tennis world played by Zendaya, and they both had big crushes on her. And there's kind of a love triangle happening there. But of course, it kind of wrecks the two, and one of the guys ends up getting with her and the other doesn't. And you're just seeing all this. And for the first time, they haven't seen each other in years, and they're both at this qualifying tournament, and there's a lot at stake. And I'm not really saying much because it's hard to explain. Essentially, you're seeing all different stages of these three people and the way they've interacted and all their experiences. It's all non-linearly thrown out there. You're jumping all around in the time frame. But oh my God, this movie was so interesting because there's like these camera moves that are just stunning, and the things they do, it's like I haven't seen before, and I don't know if I'll see again done camera wise. And there's scenes where you're getting balls flying right at the camera. You're seeing these weird shots that are just so fucking good. They're making tennis seem fun. There's this interesting score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Finch that just comes at the most obscured moments. A scene that's already decent is elevated so much by this like score that shouldn't be in this type of movie. When you hear it, it's like, oh shit, things about to get popping here. And it was just intense as fuck. And there's like comedy in this movie. This guy next to me is laughing nonstop. There's like
wow,
romance.
Okay. I wouldn't expect that.
Right? No, yeah. And this was like an older man, and he was just having the time of his fucking life. And I'm like, all right, this is funny, but I didn't think it was this funny, but all right. And oh boy, awesome. Everyone's good, giving great performances. The two lead male actors, I don't really know who they are. They look slightly familiar. Zendaya is great, and it turns out she was a producer on this movie, so that's kind of nice. And it's funny because the way you can tell, well, I mean, they tell you what year it is and set you up with all that when they're jumping around, but the major difference is when they're younger, their haircuts are different, and it's like, all right, at least they're changing haircuts. I hate when you have movies that span long periods of time and they look the same in all different. Yeah. So they kind of do different things to show, all right, this is them at this point and that point, and there's a lot at stake. And it's funny, like, it really made me nostalgic for entertainment work because they shot this movie out here like 2 years ago, and like there was so many movies happening just out here in Massachusetts at the time, like 5 movies, a couple in prep, and like they went by the working title was called Tire Town. I'm like, why the fuck is it called Tire Town? This is weird. And then it makes sense in the movie. It's like, oh shit, that does play in. And like, oh man, it's just a fun time. Like, I thought this movie was going to be stupid, but everything, like the acting, the directing, the writing, the score, the cinematography, it was all so fucking fun. And it's crazy, like, because I want to watch the credits because I'm like, I got to know a few people here and there that worked on this. But this was, it's hard to read the credits because they go so quick. The fastest credits I've ever seen in a movie. Oh, shit. Like, you're done in like less than a minute, I think. Like, it's like boom, 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 3 seconds for large amounts of names. Weird. I'm like, this is insane.
Oh,
and boy, I really had a good time watching this movie. I'm going to give it Challengers in theaters right now. 4 slices of toast. I'm with you. So we get 2 4 slicers.
God, in this episode. Oh, nice, man. Wow.
And I saw it on IMAX. I'm like, fuck it. It's playing in IMAX. I'll check it out. And I was happy because it was so sexy on an IMAX screen. Like,
nice.
Yeah.
No, that's fascinating because I've been hearing some very mixed reviews, like up and down.
I bet.
About this
I could only imagine.
I've been very eager to hear what you had to say because I've been intrigued by this movie for a long time. It's one of those that just has this sort of like art house or dramatic tone. I'm right at the gate. I expect it to be just like a very word heavy, but just the intensity. There's
a lot of talking,
the drama that's carrying it through. You. Okay, yeah, nice.
And it's funny. I saw one one site was calling it a rom-com, and I'm like, yeah, this is very far from
my
a rom-com. Like there's like the guy was laughing next to me, and there's romance, but I wouldn't call it a rom-com, people.
Just because you laugh doesn't make it a comedy.
Yeah. It was just like I didn't know what to expect. Like you, I thought it was going to be slow. Like it's weird because this is this director. He has like these art house style movies, and then he has these like weird obscured art house movies. And I feel like each movie he does, one's prestige, one is just for him, and it's like this falls in the prestige, but it's still really good. I think he did Call Me by Your Name, and the last movie he did that came out like a year ago, starring Timothée Chalamet, I just was like, what the fuck is this movie? Bones and all, it was not for me, but this one definitely was for me. Yeah.
Nice. Well, awesome, man. That's fantastic. No, definitely. I think Val and I are going to have to go back to the theater this weekend and check that one out.
I'd love to hear what you think, because like you said, mixed reviews, it could go either way, but I had a blast watching it. It's a little long, but I didn't regret it. I saw it at like 10:45, 11 o'clock, and got out at like 2 something, but it flew by because it was that interesting. And it's funny because they set like these real life time periods, and it's like, is this based on a true story? I don't know why it would be, but no, it's only loosely based on some events of like some people, but not actually real people.
Okay. Yeah. Well, nice, man. That's awesome.
That's
solid recommendation there.
Yeah. We got some good movies in this episode. Speaking of good movies, Dennis, we are out of the early bird stages for our little baby.
That we are. That's right, folks. The films are stacking up. Movie Toast, the festival, is happening again this December. Please go check out filmfreeway.com/Movie Toast the Festival if you would like to submit your short film. We are 15 minutes and under. We're trying to keep it in a sensible format here. But God, it's starting to stack up there, man.
Oh yeah,
they're sending them in.
It's funny once we get to the very end. Well, like when we're at the very end of getting submissions for a certain period, people are like, I got to get in it. It's like, thank God. Because we already had some good ones, but we were flooded the last couple of days. People trying to get in right before the regular deadline started.
Yeah, man.
So please, it's not a high price that we're charging, but it's still super feasible, I think.
Yeah, it's just enough to keep the lights on and keep the show going. So I can make another Toast trophy for the grand prize winner again.
We make no money off of this. We lose money, but it's worth it. It's fun.
Purely honoring the creativity and the drive of these filmmakers, and we're very excited to share all of this incredible art with you guys. Again, this December, it will be streamed live on YouTube, so you can watch it from anywhere you are. Throw it on the big screen, throw it on the phone, whatever's most comfortable for you. We usually do a little live chat as to coincide with the live stream of the festival, but it's been a fun time every year so far, and I'm really excited for this year, man. That's
likewise. Good one. And if you're wondering where polls came from, it came from our Twitter page. We are on all the social, folks. We have, of course, 2 Facebooks because one's not enough. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all at movie_toast. Please check us out. We got links to our episodes, videos. We got a bunch of different things, some news, whatever pops up. It's a fun time over there, folks. Please follow us over there. And by over there, I mean wherever you choose.
All the places, all of them. As you know, we love talking about movies, and we would love to keep talking about movies with you fine toasties. But maybe you don't do any of that stuff. At the very, very least, all we could ask is that you please stay toasty. Oh shit.
Well, we were going to ask you to leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, but yeah, please stay toasty. Dennis, you said you're a little tired before we recorded, so I can forgive that. All right. Thank you all for listening or watching. Till next time.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, folks.
And please stay toasty. All right. Yeah. I guess we can wrap this bad boy. No, it's all good. I'm like, it seemed like you were going either way. You could have asked for reviews.
Was feeling it, and then
I was gonna jump in to try to stop, but I'm like, just roll with it. It's all good.
I liked your response better, anyways. That was a cleaner way of handling it. I think.
I could have just
back.
I could have just ignored us saying that because nobody ever reviews us. Because why would they? People don't like to do extra work. I don't either.
We're the
so
reviewers.
I feel bad.
We're the
That's
reviewers.
true. But
They don't
people
wanna
need to
review the
review
reviewers. They
us
wanna
so we
listen
know
to the
what's
reviewers.
working.
True. I
But-
get you.
Like I hate now you go to a store and then they email you or you make a phone call, you get texts. It's like I'm not giving any fucking reviews. And if I give a review, it's normally to tell you that something went wrong. So maybe we're doing a good job and people are like,
I will
let the kids
say-
talk.
Lately, I've
You gotten
been
some
as
complaints?
we've been getting Amazon deliveries. I go out of my way to give positive feedback because I
Mhm.
get tired of when my shit gets delivered next door. So when
Yeah.
they do it right, I always fucking click the things that say they did it right and
Well, that's
follow
good, at least.
directions, respectful of property. I hit all those boxes because
Hmm.
positive reinforcement. I'm trying.
That's true.
Machine,
You gotta.
if you're listening. Jesus.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. So I guess I'll hit the old end stream here. Till next time, Dennis.